exactly is Koro?
I just received my cash from Koro. Just quick and easy.
The euphoria around town is crazy. Download Koro and say hello to easy lending.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. And in case you're just joining us, you are right on time for our gold conversation. For this second part of the program, we want to learn a lot more about animal feeds and the special nutritional requirements that we need to make sure that we are ticking in our boxes as dairy farmers. To shed more light on that, we have Mr. Juma. Thank you so much for making time to be with us on the program today, right? And we are going to start from mara nyingi unaambiwa, before you even get into dairy farming or any sort of livestock farming, lazima umejipanga mambo ya chakula. Help us understand the importance of that. Na wakituambia tujipange, tunajipanga kivipi?
As you plan to, buy a cow, those are the first things that you need to look at. Because number one, that cow, when she comes to your home, she needs to be welcomed. At least you need to have something that she's going to enjoy, as she comes. And that means you need to have enough feeds, you need to have silage, you need to have grass so that you can make hay, you need to have clean water, not just water, but it has to be clean water. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, where the cows are going to stay and be fed.
Right.
Yeah.
Does the type of grass matter? And maybe you can also shed more light on the different types of grasses that you've grown in your farm.
Here we've got boma rods, and we do have guinea grass. Guinea grass we didn't plant, but, that is just a type of grass that come in. But we've planted basically boma rods, and that is for hay. Yeah.
Are there particular grasses that are linked to better milk production from cows? Ama nyasi ni nyasi too? There's
so many grasses around. You've got the Kikuyu grass, you've got the boma rods, and all the others, yeah? But we are talking of the boma rods. That is what we use. And the boma rods, you can make silage out of grass, and you can make hay from the same grass. And once you've cut your hay, when it is now regrowing back, you can put in your cows to graze when it is still short. Because the Jersey are meant to be grazers, so they like the short grass.
Right.
So if you give a Jersey long grass and the short grass, they run for the short grass.
Is there any particular reason for that?
The Jerseys like putting their heads down, yeah? You cannot munch with your head up. You need to munch with your head down. So there's a lot of concentration there. They munch around, and they actually like the shorter grass. Yeah.
What is the comparison with now the Frisians, and other dairy cows? Do they have similar characters?
I will talk more on the Jerseys because this is what I know better. Because I might be talking of something that I've, practically I'm not there to see happening, but I'm talking of the Jerseys. Yeah, that is what I see happening.
Right.
And when we talk of other breeds, they don't mind whether it is long grass, short grass, they will, go with it.
Right.
But for us, we know that the short grass is what our cows like.
Right.
Yeah.
We're also seeing a growing rise in farmers growing the Chinese grass like Junkao. Is that something you've tried in the farm?
We've been thinking about it. In fact, we've done a trial. There's about 1.5 acres. We bought the cuttings. We've planted. The germination was not that good, but we are hoping we'll get some more cuttings to multiply to other fields.
Great. So for that person who wants to start, dairy farming, anataka sasa kuleta jazi hapa kwa shamba yake, what do you advise them to start with? Is it an in-calf heifer? Do we start with a fast calver? Talk to us about that.
If you are thinking about dairy, you need to have enough capital. You have to buy a good cow. That means you need to spend more money. And then to look after that cow, you need to have more money to buy the feeds and, pay for the workers and all the rest.
Right.
So basically, you need to have a good capital to start your dairy.
Right.
But it's not something that, you can say, oh, it's just something that I'm going to sit down today and tomorrow it starts happening. You have to plan. Have a proper plan. Think about it. Not once, not twice, but more than 3 times.
Right.
Because, it's either you are going to make money or you're not going to make money.
And the cows that I'm introducing, I would want you to guide us on how to feed them. But as a starter, do you recommend I bring a calf, a mature cow, an in-calf heifer? Where do I start and how do I feed what I'm bringing to the farm?
We sell in-calf heifers and we sell first lactation, second lactation. Getting a first calver is better because she's been introduced, to the system. She knows about being milked and all that. I'm not saying that, when you buy an in-calf heifer, it's going to be different from this one because she's going to learn. She's going to a new environment, meeting new people, and gently she's going now to be taught about, where the dairy is and where the feeding is and all the rest. But for a first calver, I think that is an ideal thing to do.
So when I'm feeding my in-calf heifer, what are those nutritional requirements that I need to make sure I'm achieving as a farmer?
We are talking of those nutritional elements, but it is all going to depend with where you get your feeds. Because nowadays, we don't know what we are feeding to our cows. And unless you've actually tested your feeds to know what you're feeding to your cows, you won't know what you're feeding. You might be told this is dairy meal, super yielder, and yet it's just full of wheat bran. And if you're feeding wheat bran to your dairy cows, then you're not feeding the right feed. So a farmer, has to be a bit careful that, whatever that they are bringing in for their cows is actually a good feed. Yeah.
So are there specific nutritional elements that a dairy farmer needs to make sure they are giving to their cows?
Because we need, a cow will need protein, vitamins, and name it. And, as I said, it all depends. Whatever that you've bought, they say, it all consists of all the elements that, needs to be given to a cow. But are we sure that whatever that we are reading on the bag is what is inside? Because you might be excited to read what is outside, but inside is not what the outside says.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk to us about how you feed your animals in this farm and some of the things you have grown that you mix in your feeds for your animals.
First, for milking cows, we've got silage. This is from sorghum. We've got hay. We've got pre-digested dairy meal. We have the minerals and molasses. And we weigh according to the number of cows in a group. If there's 40 cows, we know how many kilos per cow per feed. So we weigh, and if in a group of 40, that is going to take roughly 100 kilos, we make sure that it's 100 kilos of dairy meal, and then 12 kilos per cow per feed times 40, and then 60 grams of mineral per cow per feed times 40. So we get to know the numbers or the weight of what we're going to put together, ready to go into the mixer wagon. Yeah.
What is the importance of the mixing? Kwa sababu utapata wengine tu wanapatia silage ikiwa hivyo, but here I've seen you mixing different ingredients together. Why is that very necessary to do?
It is actually necessary because we put all the ingredients together and then that goes into the mixer wagon, as I've said. Because with the mixer wagon, we've got the hay that is in bales. It has not gone through the hammer mill. This is the whole bale of hay, which goes into the mixer and then it gets chopped into 4mm length together with the silage. And that does a proper mixture than if you will have done it on a trailer or something, because that is mixing all the way down, yeah, to get all the feed properly mixed together.
Conversation we are having right here with Mr. Juma on all matters nutrition and feeds when it comes to dairy farming in Kenya. We are not yet done with this conversation because after this break that we are taking right now, we'll task Mr. Juma to shed more light on what we need to do in the wake of climate change to make sure that we as farmers, at the end of the day, climate change or not, we're still able to feed our animals. Now, before we continue with that conversation on the other side of this break that we are about to take, kama kawa hapa Kenya's Gold, we are always giving our farmers tips on what you need to do to make sure that you are growing in the agricultural sector. Now, I know you know a lot of dairy farmers wanakwanga kwa hii tunaita cooperative societies. It's actually one of the agri sectors that have the most organized cooperative societies. Just in case you're not in one of those and you're wondering, why should I be in a cooperative society? I'll fill you in. It's very important to be in one because your society serves as your voice. Ukiwa kwa your society yako, you're able to get financial support from financial institutions like the cooperative bank. Also, unapata good agronomists wanakuja kwa shamba yako. Kama wewe ni mkulima wa ng'ombe dairy, wanakuambia feed this, don't feed that. Kama ng'ombe wako ni mgonjwa, they're giving you the best advice, the best vaccination plan. Also, it's very important to be in a society kwa sababu at the end of the day, ukishapata your good produce, you aggregate together, then you have a guaranteed market and you have a higher negotiating power. So dear farmer from whichever part of the country that you are watching us from, usijifanyie vitu peke yako. Make sure that you join a cooperative society and take advantage of the support that is being offered by the cooperative bank to small-scale farmers, large-scale farmers, and also the farmers in the societies. We are taking another break right now. We come back with a lot more when it comes to animal feeds. Keep it Kenya's Gold.